Orson and Orrin West have been missing since December 21st, 2020. They were last seen outside playing, according to their adoptive parents. Today, Trezell West, adoptive father, was charged with the murders of the boys. Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well. Yeah. What can I say?
Your
Gorgeous
team
day.
won.
My
Your team
team
won.
won. Yeah, we if you don't know, you probably don't, but I am a huge Boise State fan. And Boise State the men's basketball team has just been on fire this year. And we had to, delay taping for a few minutes because they were in the process of winning the Mountain West Conference. So I was like, no can do. You're gonna have to wait. But they won, so here we are.
Right. Well, that is very exciting.
It
We
is.
always like it when an Idaho team can do something good.
Yeah, because we're not known for our athletics.
Yeah, no, not,
Or our academics. So what do we got?
our
Potatoes.
schools are small and,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so that is very exciting.
It is. We'll take it.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. This is our Wednesday episode. And like usual, we do have 3 segments of the show coming your way. So we're going to start with a little of the old WTF news.
Yeah. In WTF News last week, we talked about all hell breaking loose at a McDonald's. 2 McDonald's, actually.
Right, yeah.
One because someone cut in line, the other because someone didn't get what they wanted, and, yada yada. We've heard the story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out something similar happened in Houston at a Dickey's barbecue.
Oh, yes.
When a gentleman ordered, let's not call him a gentleman, a guy. You'll see.
Seems like he's probably not a gentleman, but okay.
Not so much. So this guy orders carry out and gets out to the car with it, and he's not happy. His name is Andre Thomas, and Andre is pissed. Why? Well, Dickey's didn't give him enough barbecue sauce. And apparently, that's a crime that's worth shooting at people for.
Whoa. I mean, I like barbecue sauce as much as the next guy, but maybe not that much.
Well, he doesn't go in. He threatens them over the phone. Then he sits in his car and waits for the store to close and employees to come out and get in the car. And then he starts firing at them.
My God.
And drives down the road chasing after them, firing at them. He does strike one person and breaks their arm with a firearm, with a bullet, and, scares the shit out of everybody else.
Right.
Well, this guy obviously just needs to be behind bars. This happened on January 21st. He was actually on bond on pending charges in another case when this happened. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's been revoked, huh?
Mm-hmm. He's charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And has several other pending felony charges against him, including aggravated assault, burglary with intent to commit other felonies, being a felon in possession of a weapon, retaliation, aggravated assault on a family member, and verbal harassment.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I think
this guy
barbecue
needs
sauce
some
is
timeout time or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was apparently just the last straw for him. I don't know.
He's way out of control. Yeah. Well, when he called them to yell at them about the barbecue sauce, he told them he was going to come in and shoot up the place. He didn't quite do that, but he went ahead and just started shooting them up. So I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, my God, it's just barbecue sauce. Thank God he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
So you'll be relieved to know the judge did go ahead and revoke his old bonds, and
I
he
would
has no
imagine.
bond on his new cases because, well, he's doing this shit. So,
Yeah, a little too dangerous to be out in the world right now.
yeah. And Andre, bad news. I doubt they give you barbecue sauce in prison. So,
Yeah, I'm afraid you might not get it there, so
yeah.
you done fucked up, buddy.
Yeah, that's the last Dickies for you, Andre. Yep.
I guess so. Dang it.
And well, no, I'm not going. That's low hanging fruit. I'm not going there.
Well, okay.
Awful. Anyway, there you go. So that is some WTF crime.
That definitely is.
Yeah. Well, I am going to kick it back over to you for our main case. It is a doozy.
Well, isn't it though? So, you probably are all familiar with the case of Orrin and Orson West. The West boys have been missing since December 21st of 2020. They were 3 and 4 years old at the time that they went missing. This is out of California City, California. The West boys were reported missing on the 21st of December, and what was stated is that they were playing in the backyard and that dad left a gate open
Mm-hmm.
and went to look, and the kids were gone. This is the story we've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Orson and Orrin were adopted by the Wests. They had been their foster parents starting in 2018, and then they adopted them in 2019. The West family has 4 other children as well, some of them adopted and some of them natural.
I think 2 adopted and 2 natural. Yeah.
Yeah, but the West boys, the little boys were their youngest. Parents are Trezell West and Jacqueline West. And this case has been questionable all along.
Mm-hmm.
Family has been looked at heavily.
Yeah.
There was a huge ground search for these little boys when they went missing. This is in December.
Yeah.
It was cold. They were supposedly outside alone. But I mean, there was a search for them that went on for weeks.
Oh, yeah. The
Nothing.
community really came together,
They
worked
did.
really hard on behalf of these little guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing was ever found. The family home has been searched up and down over and over again, and the backyard dug up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has ever been found of these 2 little things.
Yeah.
Which, you'd think there'd be something found of these children.
Yeah.
But big news today. Trezell West has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder.
Yeah.
And so now so many questions still
Yeah.
out there. He's also charged with 2 counts of willful cruelty to a child and falsely reporting an emergency.
Now, what emergency would that be?
Afraid it's the emergency of 2 missing little boys on
Mm-hmm.
December 21st, 2020.
My God, this is like the same story
Oh, how
over
many
and
times,
over again.
right?
I mean, I think about Ariel Kalua. I think about Dior Koontz. I think about our little guy we covered a couple of weeks ago back east, whose dad has now been charged.
Oh, yeah.
Over and
Cody,
over.
Cody.
Yeah, Cody Bigsby. Yeah. The same old story. I don't
Right.
know. They got outside. I don't know where I just can't imagine.
Well, and adoptive parents.
Yeah.
You guys, I am an adoptive parent. So
Mhm.
this is just particularly horrifying for me,
Mhm.
as an adoptive parent, to know that when you adopt children, they've been through terrible things.
Yeah.
And when they come to you, it's supposed to be because now they're going to be safe. And whew,
Yeah. Well,
we
and we
know that's
know
not always
that,
the case, but boy, lately it's just seems worse.
yeah. In this case, we know that the boys were initially removed from mom's care because one of them had a broken leg, like
Yeah.
a twisted femur.
Yeah.
And
And
she, of course, says she has absolutely no idea how that happened, but femurs just don't twist themselves.
right. No, a
So,
spiral fracture is
mhm,
always an indication of child abuse in little kids because little
yeah,
kids can't fall and cause a spiral fracture.
yep, yep,
That's a twisting that has to
mhm,
happen, and that's only someone bigger and stronger can do that.
yeah,
There's a lot we don't know about
mhm,
Orson and Orrin's origins really because it
mhm,
just sort of the stories that I've read anyway, just
mhm,
sort of jump from they went into foster care in 2018, then they
mhm.
were adopted in 2019. Well, that's not
Right.
there's way more to this story because
There has to be.
mom's legal rights either had to have been severed or she voluntarily gave them up. Also,
Right.
where's bio dad? Because you have
Mhm.
to have severed the rights of both parents in order for children to be up for adoption. Parents have
Yeah.
legal rights. So there's a lot of stuff I don't understand fully about this case because I don't fully understand the history that brought these children to a
Yeah.
point of not just being in foster care, but being adopted.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what we know well, okay, what we infer now
Mhm.
is that these boys have been dead all along and were probably
Mhm.
dead prior to this actual report
Yeah.
because there was just no indication at all that those kids had been there that night or had
Yeah.
taken off out of the yard that night. I mean, all of it was a story.
Yeah.
Well, and you
Yeah.
said one of the things that they noticed, that officials noticed, is that there were no presents under the tree, under the Christmas tree
Yeah.
for Orrin or Orson.
Yeah. Yeah. How is that? The day we're reporting these kids missing and it's deep into December and there are Christmas presents under the tree for all the other kids, but nothing for these two.
Yeah.
Almost as if you knew they wouldn't be here for Christmas. Hmm.
Almost as if you did. Almost
Also,
as if these kids were missing from this house long before they were ever reported.
mhm. a, a few things. I mean, first of all, supposedly all of the other kids had been taken to grandma's house so that mom could wrap all the Christmas presents and, get the house ready for Christmas and stuff. Why not these two?
Yeah, why
Why
not
not
these
these
2?
two? But they
The
weren't taken
youngest,
to grandma's house.
busiest kids
Mhm.
in the house would have been the ones that really needed to go to grandma's house so mom could get
Mhm.
ready.
But also neighbors, some neighbors said they never saw these kids ever. Some neighbors said that they hadn't seen them in a long time. There's kind of differing neighbor reports, but a pretty constant theme from the neighbors that they don't have a clue about these kids.
Well, they had lived in Bakersfield and then they moved to California City,
Mhm.
and it does make you wonder, did those kids
Mhm.
ever actually live in that house in California City? We're not sure,
We're
but
not
it
sure.
appears as though
Mhm.
this was entirely a setup, the entire thing.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. It is. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for these little boys who they didn't deserve any of this. They didn't deserve the abuse that they had in the first home, in their bio home, and
No.
and whatever all went on there that caused them to be separated from their parents. They didn't deserve this. Oh my god.
Well, and now they've been missing for 15 months,
Mhm. And
and
just
all this
finally,
time, all this energy put into searching for them, they've been dead this whole time.
yeah. Yeah. So a few things to note. He's been charged, but he hasn't been arrested and brought into custody yet. And we sure hope that that's peaceful,
Yeah.
that they get him into custody. I always hate it when they announce charges and they haven't actually made an arrest yet. It just seems like a pass, you know?
It does, it's a strange thing, like,
It
that's the
makes me
opposite
really
of the way it's
nervous.
supposed to go.
Mhm. Also, those cruelty to children charges just really make me wonder who's talking.
Yeah.
Who's
Who is
talking? I
talking?
really, especially since there's no charges on mom, I that my money's on her that she's talking.
Mhm. I know, I think that too because, yeah, so far, Jacqueline hasn't been charged,
Mm-mm.
and, yeah, all of a sudden now, just out of the blue, He's charged with murder. We
Mhm.
don't know if they have a location on the children's bodies.
Mhm.
But, one of the things that they brought in dogs looking for these boys.
Mhm.
They did find some scent of them in the house, but they never found any scent of them outside the house.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it has ever made sense. I suspect
Mm-mm.
that law enforcement have believed that this was the family the entire time.
Oh, I think so. I
With
think that's
information
true.
like that, there's just too much here that says, no, this was a setup from the beginning.
Mhm. Mhm. I believe that's true. Yeah. And I think law enforcement did know because they've looked and looked and looked at them. But
They have. I mean, they've looked deeply, but that's why
mhm.
I really question, like, how much did these kids ever even live in that house?
Right. No, it really, really makes you wonder for sure. The community has been relentless. I mean, the law enforcement has been
Oh,
relentless.
yeah.
They've said in interviews, these are our children now,
Yeah.
and we're not having this, and we're not going to stop until we find these kids or figure out what happened to them. I mean, this is not a case that's just gone cold and been swept under the rug. It might feel like it because it's taken a long time, but
Right.
they've not stopped working on this case and trying to figure it
No.
out. You want to know a weird parallel between this case and the Dior Coons case?
Oh, yeah. Tell us.
When everyone was out searching for Dior Coons out in the wilderness, his parents were seen laughing it up and holding hands and shopping it up at a sex toy shop. And people were pissed about that and disgusted about it. Guess who else did that? These West fools were
Yeah.
seen at a sex shop while the rest of the community were out hunting for their kids. What the hell?
Yeah. What the hell? What the hell
Yeah.
is they know absolutely where those children are, and
Yep.
they're not worried about it at all. They think they're getting away with it in this situation, just
Yeah.
as in the other one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. Yeah. That just kills me. But anyway, I think it's really going to be interesting the next few days to see what happens when we get him to court.
Right.
And if we get him to court, I'm not going to rest, easy until we see him actually arrested because this
And
is a
why is
little
this information out there
unnerving.
before he is? You know?
I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't
I do
either.
not like that.
It's strange, but it's out there on a bunch of different news sites. Like, it's not,
Oh, yeah.
and it's on the, registry or whatever you call
Hmm.
it when they register the, like, the arrest warrants and stuff. All of that is public,
Hmm.
but they don't have him in custody.
Well, as of the last story we could find, they don't have him in custody. Now, it's possible that they do now. The last story we found was written uh, closed at about 5 o'clock. So we're hoping that by the end of this evening and into Wednesday morning, we are going to see him actually arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. But at this
Yeah.
point, they already know the answers before they even ask him the questions, clearly.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I agree. My money's on mom.
Mhm.
Mom knows what's happened.
Mhm.
She's finally decided she's not covering anymore.
Yep.
And, we'll see.
Mhm.
But this is a big one. This is one of those missing child cases that's been going on for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's one of those really well known ones. Everybody knows when you say, the West boys, everybody, in the true crime world, everybody knows who this
Mhm.
case is. So
Yep.
this case is going to have a lot of attention on it.
Yep.
And it may be that they've just been in the background building their case this whole time, and that's what the police do. And that's what we have to let them do in situations
Mhm.
like this. We don't always know everything right up front. And that's because they have to, prepare a case so that they can make their arrests. And
Yeah.
they've, but I don't doubt for a minute that they have believed that this happened with the family the whole
T-
time.
Totally. 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 Yep.
But what the hell? What is going on with adopted families right now? My God.
I don't know. And the one of the grandmas, well, the family, adopted families, the grandparents have been so gross and so covering. Maybe I'm not saying that they knew or they didn't know, but they've been gross. Like the way they have sheltered these two and spoken to the news and the media and stuff is awful. We do know that in the middle of this month, right around the 15th of February, there was a female detective at Grandma's house. Uh,
Oh,
uh, Somebody had reported seeing the female detective that's been one of the leads on this case in her yard talking to her at the fence. So that was interesting. That was something that was kind of
mhm.
giving some people some hope, like maybe there's some movement on this case, maybe something's coming. And now here we are 2 weeks later and there's charges. So I
Right,
think that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if there's any connection to that.
right. It will be. The other interesting thing is that the Wests moved out of that house immediately after this
Mhm,
happened, and they moved back to Bakersfield. I
mhm.
can't imagine if you thought your little children were missing from your home, you would move out of it immediately?
Right? And not to stay there and keep
And for a while, they
looking.
couldn't go there because crime scene and all that stuff,
Right.
but they just never went back? I
Mhm,
mean, they know those kids aren't coming home. They know
mhm.
those kids aren't out there lost somewhere. They know. They knew
Yeah,
then.
yep.
In cases of families where someone goes missing, somebody keeps the family home forever in case that person comes home.
Mhm,
It just there's so many red flags here that
mhm. Yeah,
it's just really disturbing and sad.
totally. Now, according to the police, the adoptive parents have been cooperative, but they have removed all four of the other kids from their care.
They really have to until they know.
Mhm.
Are they involved? That's pretty, standard
Pretty
in
standard,
a
yeah,
case like this.
yeah,
I'm just gonna show you a picture of Orrin and Orson because 'cause they're the cutest little boys. 3 and 4 at the time that they went missing.
yep.
Just little sweethearts.
These poor guys.
Yeah. I'm glad that is the case, though, that the kids have been, removed because there's no way to prove that they're safe in this home right now,
No,
or
no,
with these
definitely
parents
no.
right now.
Well, and there's 2 more adopted kids,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, I'm not saying that they're any more or less safe than the bio kids, but not feeling comfy. So,
No, I mean, because why these 2?
right.
What went down with these 2 little boys? I mean,
But that also means that the bio kids, all 4 of the other kids, have been out of their custody now for about 14 months.
yeah. Could be another motivator for a family member to finally speak up about what they know, that they, are
Mhm.
tired of these kids being separated like this.
Well, also, what do the other kids know,
Yeah.
you know? We know that in some of the other cases that have come down the pipe recently, it's because some of the older kids finally spoke up and said what
Right?
they know.
And all of the kids are older than these 2 little
Mhm.
boys. We don't
Yeah.
know their ages exactly, but they are older, so,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, we are gonna keep a close eye, of course, on this
Yeah.
situation. We will be reporting about it in our case updates as
Mhm.
soon as we know more, but we actually changed topics. This was gonna be we weren't gonna talk about this tonight, but or, on this episode, but we decided we better since this is
This
big
happened.
news.
Yeah.
There's actual at least some kind of movement, and the fact that they know, that they can charge him with their murders, they probably know where their bodies are or have some idea.
Mhm. We're
So,
gonna learn a lot here in the next couple of weeks, I think, on this
yeah,
case.
when they get him
So,
into court and
yeah.
all that stuff, we're gonna start learning some more things. So,
You know how it goes. The prosecutor, they'll hold, as much as they can closely, and then they'll keep eking out a little bit and a little bit as we head back to court over and over. And that's how this case will be too.
yep,
And we'll learn a little more and a little more until we get the whole story. But
yeah,
we will be here for it for sure.
definitely.
Hopefully, by the time we come back tonight for case updates, we will have at least a
more.
report on Trezell being taken into custody. So,
Right, and if they release the arrest warrant, then that will
yeah.
help us too. Usually there's a little bit in the arrest warrant
Hmm.
more than what we know now, other than
Yeah.
charges. So
Yep.
we will continue to cover that and give you updates as we find them.
Yeah,
And I know, Katie, you have a creepy crime for us tonight,
I
today.
do.
Yeah.
One contractor in Houston was met with a very creepy criminal recently.
Oh.
He was working on renovating a bathroom for a client. The homeowners weren't home, and the home was broken into. The home was broken into by a guy wearing a mask. That's why it's creepy. The police actually called this creepy, so I knew I had to report on it and call it creepy crime. I'm going to
Mhm.
show you a video of it here in just a minute. But he was wearing a scream mask.
Oh, good lord. Yeah,
Hmm.
that would freak you out just a little bit.
That's creepy. He was also listening to a police scanner.
Oh.
So he beat the contractor with a pipe
Mm.
in the bathroom and then tied him up, and then spent an hour rifling through the house, going through people's stuff and presumably stealing things. We don't know exactly what was stolen, uh,
Or maybe what he was looking for to
or
spend
what he
that
was
much
looking
time?
for. Yeah, it's
A
like
lot of
he
time.
knew what he was doing there, maybe. Yeah, I thought so too. The whole time listening to the police scanner and wearing this creepy ass mask, and then eventually gets in the contractor's pickup and leaves.
Oh, wow. So we
Stole his
added
truck.
Grand Theft Auto to the list, huh?
Yeah. So I'm going to show
Yikes.
you a video, and you can hear in the video, you can hear him listening to the police. And that's how the whole thing goes.
Yikes.
Listening to the scanner, wearing the mask, the gloves, all. But yes, the way he's sorting through things and going through stuff makes you think he's
Yeah.
looking for something pretty specific.
Well, yeah, digging around in the back seat of that pickup, like, what was he looking for?
Hmm. But how terrifying for the poor contractor. It's not even his house
No.
to have
Jeez.
that happen and get beat up and tied up and have your truck stolen, all the while by this psycho wearing this mask. I can't imagine how scary that must have been.
Yeah, that is very creepy.
Hmm. So, as far as we know, he has not been apprehended, nor have they released what he stole, or if he stole, what he did. So, there's a lot we
Mhm.
don't know about this case, but I thought it was of interest and certainly a creepy crime. So, there you go.
Most definitely. Yikes. Well, thanks for that, I guess.
You're
Well,
welcome.
as we know, this is our Wednesday episode. We'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain for our Wednesday night case updates live stream, and we live stream that on YouTube and Facebook, and then we also post it after the fact to the podcast. And then we will be back on Thursday night, also at 7 p.m. Mountain, live streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and that is for the Psychic Hour. And we will be doing marching orders for every sun sign for the
Yeah.
month of March. So
Yes.
we've had a lot of great content this week and more coming.
Mhm.
So don't forget to come back tonight for case updates.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of movement. Yep.
a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you know it. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.